Okay, we should be recording now. So that being said, if you want to have your camera off, go ahead and that is totally fine. But again, it's good to see you all. Happy May. And today I thought it would be the perfect time to just take a step back as a group and really do some spring cleaning exercises for the mind, body, and spirit. So what I mean by that is we're going to be, taking a step back and doing just a dive into making sure that we reset kind of as we transition from the winter weather into this beautiful spring weather, and as we prepare for a warm and sunny summer. I think it's nice to just kind of cleanse and refresh and recharge, taking some time for ourselves this morning. So my name is Gregg. If you've never seen me before, it's nice to see you all. And we'll go ahead and get started with today's agenda. So in kind of three different parts, we're going to be focusing on the body, mind, and spirit. So the first of which is going to be just some gentle stretching to release any tension from the head down to the toes. Then we'll move into an uplifting, refresh meditation. And lastly, we'll be doing a few journaling prompts for motivation and clarity. So, like I said, we're going to start with some gentle stretches. So go ahead and find yourself safely in your seat. If you are in a desk chair, these are all seated exercises, or you can choose to do a few of them standing or on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you today. But go ahead and find a nice upright position in your chair. And we'll kind of start with the neck and move our way down. So first, we'll go ahead and just start to slowly move our head from left to right. Nothing that we're doing here is aggressive or fast. We're really taking our time here to allow the neck to stretch from side to side. Making sure to breathe while we're doing all of these stretches. If you'd like a little extra, take our fingertips gently, pressing on our chin. If one side feels really, really good, maybe stay there for a couple of seconds. Take a nice deep breath, breathe into the stretch. Now, coming back to center, we'll go ahead and look up towards the ceiling, our chin pointing upward. Feel that nice stretch in the throat, in the neck. And on an exhale, we bring our chin to chest, looking down at our lap, at the floor. Moving with the breath here, inhale as we look up towards the ceiling. Maybe our head does not go this far back. Maybe we are only looking a little bit in front of us. That's okay. Exhale, bringing the chin to chest. A few more just like that at your pace. Breathing in. And exhaling down. When you're ready, we'll bring it back to center. We'll go ahead and move into the arms and the shoulders. So with that, we will go ahead and move our arms out to our sides, making kind of a capital T. And we'll just start to make really small circles with our arms. Maybe it feels really good to start making bigger circles. Maybe not. We're just getting some movement this morning. Some gentle and slow movement into our body. When you feel ready, we'll go ahead and start going the other way. So moving backwards with our arm circles. We're keeping the hands active here, fingertips nice and spread out, palms facing down. And once your arms feel ready, we'll go ahead and slowly drop them back down to our sides. And on an inhale, we'll go ahead and reach our arms up overhead. And on your next exhale, we'll go ahead and gently stretch backwards against the back of our chair if we're seated in a chair, allowing our chest to open, stretching our hands back behind our heads as far as feels good for you. Remember to breathe. And on an exhale, bring them back down. One more just like that. On an inhale, sweeping the arms above head. And slowly inching back, leaning on our chair for support. Take a deep breath here. And as we exhale, we bring our hands back to our sides. We're gonna go ahead and do a couple little hand and wrist stretches. I know a lot of us sit on our computers a lot and our hands can get really tired, but we often neglect them when we're exercising or stretching. So first we'll go ahead and on an inhale, reach our hands directly out in front of us like zombie arms. And we'll just go ahead and lift our wrists so our palms are facing directly out in front of our faces. And we'll go ahead and drop them down. So fingertips pointing to the floor. Find a rhythm here, moving your fingertips up towards the ceiling and back down. You might find that this feels really good. I love this stretch on the wrists, back down. And when you're ready, we'll move our hands back to center position. And then reaching them back to the ceiling, we'll go ahead and focus on spreading our fingertips wide. Maybe making fists and opening them back up. Giving your fingers some attention. Maybe making a really tight fist and then letting it release slowly, allowing any tension that you have in your hands to release. We'll do one more like that. Excellent. And we'll drop our hands to our sides. Now, just a couple more stretches here. We're gonna go ahead and do a couple of twists. So again, we're gonna sit nice and upright in our chair. And from here, on an inhale, we're gonna go ahead and take our right hand to our left knee and our left hand behind our back on our chair and gently twist. As we breathe, we inhale and focus on an upward lift, lifting the chest towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we twist a little bit deeper to the side, getting an awesome stretch in our side body. One more inhale, and as we exhale, we come back to center. We'll even it out on the other side. So this time, left hand to the right knee and right hand behind our back. And again, we're lifting upwards. We're making sure not to hunch over in our chair, twisting as deep as feels good for you today. These exercises can be done sitting at your desk in between meetings. It's a great way to just kind of activate the muscles. On your next exhale, come back to center. So our last exercise is with our legs and feet. So I'll shift my camera down and we're gonna go ahead and do a couple of ankle pumps. So our legs are out in front of us. Maybe they're touching the floor, maybe not. Maybe we need to scoot a little further, we have short legs. So our feet are touching the floor and we'll just go ahead and pump our ankles up, keeping our feet actively engaged and just kind of tapping our toes to the floor. Do this for a couple more seconds, letting the legs get engaged. Toes are pointing either actively down towards the floor or up towards the nose. That might help get a little bit more of a calf stretch for you. Awesome. And when you feel ready, go ahead and come back up to our seated position. And hopefully you feel a little bit more physically centered, allowing your energy to kind of shift from the neck down and wake ourselves up a little bit. So next, we're just gonna move right into a very short meditation. So I invite you to make yourself comfortable in your seat. Maybe your body feels a little bit more energized, but we're gonna take a second to kind of ground ourselves while still maintaining that upward lift of our body. So make yourself comfortable in your seat. If you feel comfortable, feel free to close your eyes at this time or soften the gaze on your nose or a few feet in front of you. We're tuning into the breath here. So just noticing how we're breathing this morning. Maybe a few of those exercises caused us to breathe a little bit faster than normal. That's okay. Try not to alter the way you're breathing. Just let it flow naturally. And when you're ready, think about a positive statement or affirmation that suits you this morning. So a positive affirmation might be something like, I'm excited and energized to start my day. I feel gratitude and positivity flowing through me. I'm purposeful, motivated, enthusiastic. Choose words that have meaning to you today and slowly repeat them to yourself quietly. Maintaining your breath and focusing on these words that you've created. And rather than just saying the words in your mind, try to really feel the meaning of the affirmation more and more as you breathe the words into your body, into your spirit. Maybe if you're repeating the words silently in your head, see how it feels to whisper them gently to yourself. Perhaps even calling yourself by name. By saying these words and repeating them to yourself, you can consider them already so. We'll continue for another few seconds. Focusing on cleansing breaths in through our nose and releasing them out through our mouth. Repeat your affirmation once more out loud to yourself. And remember to hold those words with you for the rest of the day. When you feel ready, we'll gently flutter the eyelids open or lift our gaze as we come back into the room. Maybe feeling a little bit more centered and ready to start a few journal prompts and reflections about these exercises. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to go ahead and grab a pen and paper or whatever method you like to journal with today. And we're going to do 3 journal prompts together. So take just a moment here and we'll go ahead and get started. Maybe taking a sip of water or tea or coffee. Okay. So for journal prompt number 1, like I said, we're going to be focusing on kind of mental clarity and motivation. So sometimes it's nice to just take a step back and think about how you've been feeling recently. Oftentimes we can kind of live on autopilot and get so busy at this time of year that we don't even realize what we're going through. So I invite you to go ahead and start with this prompt. Recently, I've been feeling very, and expand on that how you choose to. And think about why you've been feeling this way. I've been feeling this way because. And we're gonna take about 3 minutes for this. So I'll go ahead and set my timer. We'll take another 30 seconds or so for this prompt. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to journal prompt number 2. So for this one, I invite you to think about the ways you want to begin feeling. And if you could have things your way, what would they look like? So we've gone over, how we've been feeling, and now we're going to think about how we'd like to feel and what that might look like and start to envision that. Take about 2 minutes. We'll take about 30 seconds to finish this prompt. Okay, and finally, we'll move on to the last prompt. So journal prompt number 3. Ask yourself, what is no longer serving me? And instead, what am I truly needing these days? So thinking about the things that perhaps you wrote about in the first prompt that might not be serving you, and ways that you can incorporate some of those components from the second prompt. Take 2 minutes here. Okay, we will take a few more seconds to wrap up that journal prompt, or maybe go back to a couple words that you want to go back to in one of the first journal prompts. We'll take about 30 seconds here to do that. Okay, so now that we have wrapped up the journal prompts, the meditation, and the gentle stretching, I'd like to hear from you if you feel comfortable, or perhaps just think about these questions in your own mind. How did this mindful meetup feel for you? Was there anything particularly challenging or helpful? And how can you incorporate these practices or encourage others to do so as well into the upcoming summer? If you feel comfortable sharing anything in the chat or unmuting yourself. So I'm seeing a few comments in the chat box. Thank you for sharing. The journaling made me realize I need organization. That is a great realization. Yeah, sometimes taking a couple of steps back and really, thinking about where you are and where you'd like to be can make something so clear as to things that might be helpful. Jalen said, all of it was helpful, the stretching and the journal prompts. I really liked being able to identify how I'm feeling lately and why. Great. I am so glad that you enjoyed the exercises. Jalen also shares, for this summer, I want to stop playing games on my phone during downtimes and look for journal prompts and do those instead, better for my mental and emotional well being. Yeah, that's a great idea. I know myself, I find that I also do well to carry a book with me if I'm going places or if I have downtime. I try to keep a book nearby so that perhaps I'll reach for that instead of my phone and just scrolling on my phone. But I think that sounds like a great idea. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording this session in case anybody had anything they wanted to share outside of the recording. Let's see.